Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to crack open the book Crucial Conversations to pull out one of the most important skills you can learn: how to handle those high-stakes, emotional discussions without everything just blowing up. I mean, have you ever had one of those? You go into a conversation thinking, okay, this'll be fine, and you walk out just completely blindsided, wondering what in the world just happened. It's a feeling we've all had, and it's right at the heart of what we're going to unpack today. This quote from the book is just a perfect kind of hilarious example of how fast things can go off the rails. You know, one minute you're making small talk, the next you're in this absolutely bonkers argument over cooking smells and sweaty ears. It sounds ridiculous, but these are the little moments that can really start to wear a relationship down. Okay, so let's get into it. What makes these conversations so tricky? And let's be honest, why are we so bad at them most of the time? The book actually gives us a really clear framework for understanding why. So what is a crucial conversation? It's basically any talk that has these three key ingredients. 1, you've got opposing opinions. 2, emotions are running high. And 3, the stakes feel really big. When those three things mix, bam, you're in a crucial conversation. And this isn't just for, diplomats and CEOs. It's disagreeing with your boss, talking to a teenager about their behavior, or even just asking your roommate to please do the dishes. Now, this is what I find so interesting. The book points out that the real damage, it's not the one-time incident. It's what they call lag time. It's the weeks, maybe even months, that we let go by without ever talking about the real issue. That silence, that's what lets a small problem fester and grow into a destructive pattern that just completely eats away at trust. And you see, when we fail to talk it out, the problem doesn't just magically disappear. We end up acting it out instead. All that frustration, it just leaks out. It comes out as sarcasm, or maybe we start avoiding the person, or we gossip about them. We're still communicating the problem, we're just doing it in the absolute worst, most destructive way possible. All right, so if avoiding it is bad and acting it out is also bad, what are you supposed to do? Well, this is where the book introduces a really powerful idea that kind of reframes the whole thing. It's called the fool's choice. And we do this to ourselves all the time. We think we have to choose between two terrible options. Option A, I tell the absolute truth and probably destroy the relationship. Or option B, I keep my mouth shut to keep the peace and the problem never gets solved. We get trapped thinking we have to pick between being honest and being kind. But what if that choice itself is the real problem? This is the big unlock. The people who are great at this stuff, they just refuse to make that fool's choice. Their goal isn't to win the argument. Their goal is something called dialogue. They focus on creating a shared pool of meaning. It's about getting all the information, the good, the bad, and the ugly, out on the table so that everyone can see it and we can find a real solution together. And if you think this sounds a little soft, listen to this. This is a real and frankly terrifying example of what happens when that pool of meaning is shallow. In one hospital, 7 people, nurses, techs, all wondered why a surgeon was about to operate on the wrong foot. But nobody said anything. Because nobody felt safe enough to speak up, a preventable tragedy happened. This shows that creating safety for dialogue isn't just a nice-to-have skill, it can literally be a matter of life and death. Okay, so how do we actually do this? How do we build that pool of meaning when things are tense? The book gives us a really practical, step-by-step toolkit. And you know what? The framework is surprisingly simple. It really boils down to 2 main things. First, you have to work on me first. That's all the stuff you do before you even open your mouth. And the authors say this is like 70% of your success right there. Then, once you're in the conversation, your job is to make it safe. You're constantly checking in to make sure everyone feels okay to contribute. So that first part, work on me first, starts with this question: what do I really want? You have to ask yourself that. Because when we get emotional, our goal can subtly shift. We stop wanting a solution and we start wanting to win, or to punish the other person, or just to be right. Asking, what do I really want for myself, for them, and for the relationship, it yanks you back to a much more productive place before you say a single word. All right, next up in your prep work is mastering your story. This one is huge. We tell ourselves stories to make sense of things, and when we feel wronged, we almost always cast the other person as the villain.
My coworker is a backstabbing jerk. It makes us feel justified in our anger. But the book suggests a different path. Ask yourself this question: why would a reasonable, rational, and decent person do what they're doing? That single question forces you to challenge your own story, to see them as a human again, and that's how you get your own emotions under control.
Okay, so you've done your prep, now you're in the conversation. Your number one job from here on out is to make it safe. The book calls safety the thermostat of a conversation. If it gets too cold, people shut down. If it gets too hot, they blow up. And safety really needs two things: mutual purpose, they need to know you care about their goals too, and mutual respect. They need to feel that you respect them as a human being, even if you disagree.
So what do you do if you see things getting heated? If you sense that safety is dropping, you pull out this incredible tool called contrasting. It is a simple I don't, I do statement. You start by clearing up what you don't want. I don't want you to think I'm questioning your commitment. Then you state what you do want. I do want to figure out how we can hit this deadline together. It's like a magic phrase that can instantly diffuse defensiveness and pull the conversation back from the brink. Okay, so what's the point of all this work? What happens when you actually start using these skills? The benefits go way beyond just having fewer arguments. This stuff can honestly transform your results, both at work and in your personal life. I mean, the payoff is just massive. When people feel safe enough to speak up, your team gets smarter. You avoid those terrible, costly mistakes. Decisions get made faster because they're not bogged down in politics. Your own personal influence grows because people actually trust you. And of course, every single relationship in your life just gets healthier and stronger.
And look at this number. This is just staggering. In one study, 93% of people said their company has untouchable problem employees. You know the ones, the people who are never held accountable. Think about that for a second. That silence, that avoidance, it's a massive hidden tax on everything. It just crushes productivity and morale, and it's happening almost everywhere.
And this brings us to the final and maybe most important idea. Learning these skills, it isn't really just about influencing other people. It's about building your own resilience. The authors have this amazing metaphor. They say when you let other people's actions or words define your own worth, you've handed them your pen. They are writing your story. Mastering these conversations is how you take back your pen. You learn to find safety and worth not from what other people think, but from within yourself. So that's the real takeaway. The final question for all of us is, who's holding your pen?